Good evening and welcome to Monkeys with Fire. How is everybody today? Have you had a fantastic weekend? I certainly hope you have. Did you manage to paint any minis? Did you play any games? Well, it is the beginning of the month, and the beginning of the month is always an exciting time on the channel here because we always announce our brand new sponsor for the month. And so without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to this month's sponsor. Yes, so this month we are being proudly sponsored by Scale75, which is absolute fantastic news, and they have provided a whole host of miniatures and busts and games and paints for us to take a look through. So that's the plan for tonight, is that we will be looking through their product range, looking at some of the miniatures they produce, the paints that they have, one game in particular, which of course is the Smog Riders Dimensions of Madness, which is going to be a lot of fun when we get to play that on Tabletop Tuesday in one of the coming weeks. And then once we've gone through all of the Smog Riders and Scale 75 items, the fun doesn't stop there, because we've actually got the June box of the Discovery box from Asset Drop, and so we'll be unboxing that live. Now, I have purposely not looked at anybody else's unboxing videos or information about it, because I want it to be a genuine surprise for me, just like it would be for anybody else receiving it. And as an added bonus, we actually do have an exclusive discount code. So for anybody who is not already a subscriber, this is the perfect way to try a box out, to see what it would be like prior to subscribing. So I will be able to give you that discount code, and you will get 20% off at the Asset Drop store for the June Discovery box. Exciting stuff. Okay then, let's jump right on in. So then, hello everyone, who's in the chat tonight? I can see a few names in there. Hello Snowyak, hello Rob, hello Lorna, hello Archimus the Fallen, and hello Asset Drop. And hello Valkyrie. Welcome everybody. Valkyrie's lurking, busy doing work. Okay, so, and Rob, you're back from a camping trip. How did that go? Is that how you spent your weekend? Hopefully the weather was good for you. It's been fantastic here in the UK. In fact, so much so, paint has been drying before it even gets to the miniature. So it's great weather for barbecues and for going out socializing, not great weather for painting. You've been out in the woods for a week. So long as you didn't go to the cabin in the woods, then everything was fine. Okay then, so should we go and take a look at some miniatures? Right, and let's change this. So there we go. Yes, Napster, yes. Doing nothing but assembling miniatures because painting is just far too hot right now. Yeah, totally agree with you. But when your wet palette starts to dry out, you know that there's problems. Okay, so starting off with some of the products that I've received from Scale75. Something I was aware of, obviously, their fantasy range. Good evening, Nixon Minis. You're just in time. We're just about to start. So I'm just saying, I'm aware, obviously, of their fantasy range, and I hope I get it right with the fact of that a lot of their miniatures are 75mm. Maybe that's where the name came from. But I was then surprised to receive a number of what I would call traditional military war miniature packs, and obviously at military scales, because I wasn't aware that they did things like this. And I don't know how many of you guys, I know we do a lot of fantasy and sci-fi based miniatures, but has anybody done any sort of traditional war, Second World War, First World War, historical war miniatures? Very recent, as in. Okay, so Napster, you did a Hurricane. I think that's one of the planes, isn't it? Is that RAF plane? And Valkyrie used to, but not for a number of years. What type of miniatures did you do? And Nixon, have you done Warfront in that case? Then what did you paint? So what I've got here, again, they're in different scales, as you can clearly. So Valkyrie, you're doing World War II to Napoleonics. Okay. So these are, I'm going to assume, a Second World War. We got one at 1/48 scale. These DAC soldiers. And, you know, like with anything that, and then these are 1/72 scale. And I wonder, is that to, again, this is where you have to really know your scales, don't you? Because does 1/72 is slightly larger than 1/100 for the tank? But again, as you would expect with Scale 75, the detail on these is brilliant. These are US Army ETO. I guess they're the type of soldiers I would expect to see in any sort of typical Second World War movie. So these look really cool. These are slightly larger. Again, just really intricate detail. Let's see if I can zoom on in here. If I bring this up, and we'll change the focus. There we go. So I guess that's kind of comparable to 32mm 1/48. Does that look around about the same sort of height? I would say so. But let's, what we're going to do is I'll unbox the tank. We'll take a look at that. Because I've never seen a tank before. Not like this. Okay, so I'll change the focus. Wow. Okay, this looks really cool. So yeah, oh excellent. Just what I thought. So we have a really detailed body. And of course, this is the instantly recognizable Sherman tank that was used throughout World War II. But a long, long history. So let's put that there. We then have the tracks, which quite easily just clip on in. It's got a little nudgel there, so I can't put it in at the moment. But maybe some lucky winner will be able to put them in and show us pictures at the end of the month. So we have the other track. It goes on there. We've got the turret. And of course, we've got a gun. which is not going to fit in. But then what was great is you got transfers. So you can get it all done perfectly. Well, that's great. Again, vehicles is something that I haven't had the fun to do as yet, and so that's something that I am looking forward to. And in fact, yeah, you got some little stars as well. So that looks awesome. And so I believe that they do a whole range. So what we'll do is so with a little bit of technical jiggery pokery. So actually, let's put some music on in the background while we're doing this. And let us jump to another screen and bring up the Scale75 website so we can actually take a look at Warfront. And yes, so they do a whole range. So I was looking at the 1 to 72, I thought, no, it's the 1 to 48. I thought was quite close to 32mm. So they have 4 different sets there. And something I'll be coming on to is, of course, they have the appropriate paint sets for the various uniforms. I guess when you're doing historical figures, then your level of accuracy to their uniforms is quite important. And I think, as most of us know, Scale75 do a very extensive range of paints. So that's something that we shall be looking at in more detail. I'll put those to one side. And so another thing that I wasn't aware of is that they actually have a skirmish game, which is The Fallen Frontiers. And so there obviously is a base game and scenery, the base starter box here. The Battle of Ekstrom 4? That's 4, isn't it? I always got to think of Star Trek. Is it V1 for 4? Six. That's why I was watching the wrong movie. So then if I jump to this screen here, we can take a look at the 2 packs they've provided. So these are 2 hero characters for the two of the factions. I believe that there are 4 factions within the game. So we got the Harvesters and the Sayaks. This is Sphinx and Diana Trisen. And again, wonderful detailed miniatures. But what we'll do... Oh, thank you, everybody. Yes. 5+1. Looking pretty grim. Well, here we go. So let's take a look. And again, hoping that technology works for us. So if we turn that off and we put that on. And here we go. So we get a 3D render of the Harvester character, which is Sphinx. And when I look at his artwork, what I'm thinking of is it's a sort of mash of the Borg and zombies and some of the sort of minions, the humanoid minions from Doom. Makes me think of those. But it's a wonderfully detailed character. And I'll just show you. Reminds you of Doom, yes, so we're both on the same page there. And then this is the render of Diane. She's got one of those very iconic sort of military uniforms. So, come on, you're saying Baraka? What's that? Okay, so let's jump back. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this one up. Oh, hang on a second. I'm going to do it carefully. Bear with me one moment. There's one thing I forgot. Ah, somebody from Mortal Kombat. Right, okay. Is he a particular badass character? Okay. Aha, there we go. Metal spikes that grow out of his arms. Okay. So just taking a look in the pack here. So we got a nice piece of artwork. Shows the character painted in the 4 perspectives. And then these are the cards, obviously to be suitable with the actual game. Let's does it have to put it down there for it to zoom on in? And yes, so the special cards for the game here. I guess it's very similar to I was familiar with the range of miniatures for Fantasy Flight's Imperial Assault. So it's a similar thing, isn't it? You're getting your miniature, you get your selection of cards to go along with it. Artwork is of course very nice, as you would expect. Let's take a look at the actual mini. So the mini does come with a, looking at that, it's probably a 28mm base. I'm going to change the zoom so you can see this nice and clearly. I bring her up all the way up to here. How's that? So again, really nicely detailed miniature. Probably just needs a little bit of cleaning, but not too much. In fact, actually, it's a really nice production. Lots of detail in it. Yeah, that looks rather cool. And then, of course, you've got a hand with some sort of blaster. Very Blade Runner-ish. And I guess only what can be described as a riding crop. So Let's not judge her. Alright, so let's just pack this one away. Shall we open up the other one as well? Yes, shall we? Shall we? Of course we shall. Just have to do it nice and carefully. Okay. Yeah, I'm very weak. I have nice miniatures to look at. But as you guys know, I obviously want to be careful with this because there is the opportunity for you potentially to win some of these. So, right then, let's take a look at the card. So again, similar. Oh, and so what's nice, so somebody asked about the lore on this character, so it's difficult for you to sort of see on here, but there is a full piece of lore here. So there is the word necroprocessor, so that makes me think he is slightly dead, but his name was originally Jeff McKinley. So I think things went particularly wrong for poor Jeff. So I get the impression that he's kind of alive but dead, considering the sort of skull look to his face. He's either very, very, very dehydrated. In other words, he he basically didn't drink enough water over the weekend. This is what happens to you. Okay, so health and safety warning to everybody. Make sure you hydrate. Yeah, because he even has battle honors. But then saying that, this particular picture of battle honors has Jeff with breasts, so I'm not quite sure that those are his. Smoke grenades, they look good for Jeff. And an energy shield. So I think Jeff's going to be all right. Apart from the the gender ambiguity. Jeff on the weekend. Absolutely. All right. Again, we're not judging, okay? Okay, and let's see what Jeff actually looks like. Oh, Jeff's got a head separately. All right. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Okay. If you do like your zombie awesome sort of musculature, I think this is the mini for you. Look at it. And of course then it has all the cyber implants. So yeah, I mean, just think how to paint all that up, all the sort of veins, and he's got his spinal cord there. And then of course you've got the armoured leg pieces. So he's a little bit like a zombie and cyborg from the Justice League. And he's got a sort of screaming face head, really shouting at you. And then, as you said before, he's got blades coming out of his I suppose, elbow gauntlets. What would you call them? So that looks all really cool. Yeah, we like Jeff. Jeff's good. Okay. That over there. Yes, the detail is superb and a very crisp zombie. Yes. Yes, I believe. Well, let's just double check. I don't want to say something and find that I'm wrong. So if we click that and click that there, let's find out what Jeff is made of. So he is part of Heroes, and he was part of the Harvesters. So there he is, Sphinx. So there's a range of them. So actually, it looks like he is the only one who has gone into the Necro processor. Because this guy looks relatively human. Magnus. It doesn't say. Let me just check on the back of the box here. Okay, it doesn't say, but I would assume that it is a resin, considering that all of their range are typically resin miniatures. I think you would be safer to use super glue as opposed to sort of poly cement. So can we... In fact, so let's just go over here and the only one I can show you is there's the render of Diane. So you can see the level of detail. So even an insignia up on her cap there with her combat glasses. Maybe she's the one who's wearing the war medal. Would seem reasonable, wouldn't it? Okay, so that is Fallen Frontiers. Let's just have a quick look. Close that down. Because there are other heroes in the range. These do look, I know these are the I think the Ares faction is what is within the starter set. So these are your typical sort of Space Marines, aren't they? Space Marines is a generic term now, I'm sure, with so many different types available. Everybody in big power armor. And then the opposing group is the Riff. And very sort of alien looking to them. Looks like one of the Thundercats, but with more skulls. Okay, so as you know, Scale75 do a range of paints. Yeah, Panthera. Yeah, see? You see, I'm not far off, not far off. Okay, so so they sent through 2 sets of paints. So first of all, we have the flesh paint set. Let's just change the camera again. And having sort of spoken to a few of you about this before, I am going to be interested to see what these paints are actually like. Because we were talking about them being of a more matte. Am I right in saying that? So let's open these up, see what we got. Okay, so it does show us on the back. Let's make sure we got this in focus for you. So pale skin, light skin, golden skin, basic flesh, pink flesh, Arabic shadow, Indian shadow, and African shadow. So whole range of paints there. Suitable hopefully for do quite a few ethnicities, which of course is something we were looking at last week with the Cool Mini or Not forum website. So let's take these out. And of course I'm going to have to prep all of these with little glass agitators. But I believe, yeah, here we go. So let's put the paints to one side here. So Scale75 always seem to send with them in their sets really helpful guides on how to achieve the results that their sort of studio artists do. And so it's showing here, yes, Indian skin and white skin. And using the colours that basically you've got within the pack and giving you an outline of basically how to apply them. So certainly for one of the characters that I'll be painting up, this is the guide that I shall be following. Just to see how helpful it is. But this is a great range of colours. And will be very helpful. So you can see them there. And then the other set that they sent, so let's put that to one side, is the non-metallic metal paint set. And I was thinking, for those of you who are new onto the channel, we are doing a fun community challenge where during the course of July we are painting up Stormcasts from Games Workshop. So I was thinking maybe I would paint mine up using this non-metallic metal set. So it's a good way to try out the set. So what do we have here? We have a variety of whites, blues, greys. So again, let's take a look, see what we can achieve from it. Open this pack up. So what do we have? We have white, nacre, graphite, anthracite grey, Arctic blue, Bering blue, Caspian blue, and abysmal blue. So actually a lot of blues. I always wonder where these names come from. So in these sets, you're getting 8 paints. Again, another helpful guide. So this is giving details on how to do a realistic steel or an azure steel, which is of course the blue tinted style. So again, this hopefully will be a good guide for me to follow to do my Stormcast. Certainly some areas of his armour, I think. Getting away from the traditional golden look. So just jumping to the website. And so as you would expect, they do a massive range. Some starter sets, scale colour is of course the greatest range of, again, individual sets here that focusing in on certain aspects. So metal and alchemy golden set there. Steel set, the black and white, sky and ice blue, colours of nature green set. Blood and fire, wood and leather. There's the flesh paint set. Non-metallic gold, non-metallic steel. And then you can get colours that are orientated more towards your fantasy and gaming. So a makeup set, Shades of Doom, steampunk set, that might have been a handy set to get. Elven colours. Hi Orcus Gaming, so you picked up a bunch recently, which ones did you get? And how you say that they're nice, in what way? We were talking, is it a very sort of matte finish by comparison to other ranges? Hello, Falcon Punch. So you want the leather and wood and a skin set? Yeah. What else? Unnatural flesh. Creatures from hell. Barely matte. Okay. Well, so they were an upgrade from what you were using. So can I ask, what were you using prior? I'll go back here. Let's take a look at that. And of course the Warfront set is of course suitable for doing the World War II miniatures. So here we go, wood and leather. Let's make it full screen. There we go. Right, so the army painters were great, but their medium wasn't that impressive. But it was good on an airbrush. Okay, that's interesting to know. And so how do you find the scale color paints then? So again, helpful guide to show you how to do wood and leather, conveniently enough. So I mean, it is great, and I don't. I'm not familiar with other painting ranges that actually provide with their paints a guide to get the most out of them. Right. Oh, that's so. So the scale color paints are fantastic, much more opaque at thinner consistencies and less maintenance. Sounds perfect, doesn't it? Really. Okay, so probably very good then as layering paints in that case, I would imagine. All right, excellent stuff. So let's just move these out of the way. So yes, they will be good fun, and I will be using them as much as I possibly can during the course of this month. And I will point out when I do use them, and I guess by the end of the month I will be able to sort of tell you what I think. Right, so Vallejo provide a guide with some of their sets, right? Okay. I mean, just looking here, because it would seem that scale color, and correct me if I'm wrong, you only seem to be able to get them in sets, so as opposed to individual paints. But of course, then you're able to get all the complementary colors on either side of whatever color you intend to use. I guess that's the bonus, isn't it? The only thing I've seen where I think it was on the other side. Right, so you can get them in singles. Okay. Is it from... Yeah, see, that's wow, so that's every colour there at just shy of 140 euros. And the starter set. So there's a starter set for tanks and for the smog riders. Okay. All right then. Well, let us... So talking about smog riders, let's go and take a look at something else that obviously Scale 75 is quite well known for. So hang on one second. Well, what's that next then? Back to scale color in the top. There we go. Yes, individual colors. Yeah, I see it. Here we go. So yes. Thanks, WTF Online. We're just taking a look at the colors from Scale Color from Scale 75, but we are literally just jumping straight on to take a look at something else that they are very well known for, and that is high quality busts. So I'm sure most of us are familiar that Scale 75 do a whole range of steampunk inspired characters, both in 32mm and in oh, sorry, I'm just looking at... So Valkyries dropped a pick in completed that was painted in scale colors. Ah, right, okay, so you've... okay, excellent. We will take a look at that. We'll come back to it. I will give you a shout when we do. Oh, well, actually, there we go. Let's take a look now since we're actually talking about paint still. So... let us jump here and move that and go to that and open this. And here we go. Here's Valkyrie's mini, all done with scale colors, and it looks like you've got, it's the wooden colors there, so it's the barrel, Well, Orcus Gaming, unfortunately I can't do the links there, but exclamation Discord, come onto the server, add your picture into the completed gallery, and we can take a look right here and now. That's lovely, Valkyrie, really cool. And you've got a really nice technique with the wood effect there. So did you achieve that from using the guide that was within the pack? Well, it's come out really, really well. And of course, Nixton, yes, you've been painting Beauty and the Beast with scale colour. Let's take a look at that for those who have not seen. You can just scroll back a bit because I think it's further up here. Here we go. And didn't you say that you were using quite a limited palette of colours on this mini? Seven colours, 2 inks. Yeah, amazing work. And have you finished it, or have you moved on to other projects and you're having a little bit of a break? I actually think it's wonderful. Yeah, no, it's really, really nice. So you've just got the base to go. Okay, so let's jump back. And so we have Irina Maya, which is one of the latest of the Scale75 busts from their Naughty Gears range. And again, I think we've seen this in other miniatures where you get the front and the back of the bust, which is always very helpful. So while I'm unboxing that, what I can do is I can show you some other characters that they have produced. So let us go to that one. So these are the 3D renders and character art. Okay, got another one here. Now, painting busts is not something that I have attempted as yet. I must admit I'm quite apprehensive about it, but it's something I would like to have a go of. I don't know whether it's something that oh, so because you're starting your first one. What are you doing? Napoleon. That sounds like a very mixed up blend of characters. Well, I will be certainly intrigued to see what that looks like. So if I jump here, open that. So there we go. So this is Irina, obviously all painted by one of their professional painters. I love how they've managed to achieve the sheer effect on the her sort of gloves, which go up to her elbows. I guess it's the lace effect, isn't it? And let's take a look. Have we got side-on view? Again, all of the detail is just so wonderfully reproduced. Rear view. And final side. Oh, spoilers. Shouldn't be looking at that one yet. Okay, so once we've taken it out of the nice packaging, we got our typical mini box here. Open it up, and here she is. And I bring her up to here and change the camera again. And there we go. I mean, we can again see just the amazing level of detail to the character. As I say, I am apprehensive, but I am certainly going to give it a go. The great thing about it is there are lots of tutorials on the Scale75 YouTube page to help. So that's her there. And then, as you would expect, she needs some arms. I believe this is a new character because most of the original busts are based on some of the characters that were pre-existing. And I've got a range of characters. So her hands and gloves there with the watch on. Again, and there's no, or if anything, minimal cleaning that is needed on this. The reproduction is great. Got some sort of cog device there by her elbow. Or actually, no, it's a wrist. It's a watch, isn't it? There we go. That's her elbow. Yes, Anatomy 101. And then it's such teeny tiny. It's a clock. It's a little pocket watch. And that goes right in to the bottom of the character there. How on earth I'm going to paint on a clock face on that? I got no idea. So that's quite exciting. Okay, let's put that back down. All right then, so let's just look at put that off, put that on. So here we go. So this is the range that they do. So there's Arena. But as I say, they have taken characters from their existing 75mm and 32mm range. So Sarah Kilminster and Carla McCarthy and Nancy Steel Punch, these are ones that are existing characters that you might have seen before. To which, of course, if you do like these characters, then it is worth taking a look at their steampunk series. And this is the full range, all in 35mm. I do like the Jessica Thunderhawk. I think that's quite a cool character. So again, has anybody painted up any of these miniatures? Are you familiar with them? And let's go to Scale 75, and then it will be Steam Wars. You like Mary Read? So here we go. So this is the 75mm version of the characters. So, like I say, I do like the Jessica Thunderhawk. And they produce a miniature painting book that goes through all the techniques on how to achieve like the studio standard, which I was watching a video of. Really, really informative. Does look really good if you wanted to take your painting all the way up to this sort of level. So you like Mary Read. So I think Mary Read is going to be part of their fantasy range. Okay, so now they're all the... Because I know that they do... Oh, well, are you referring... Yeah, because it's Daisy, but there's Mary is the pirate, isn't she? Let's, where is she? There we go, Mary Read. I watched Shoshi from Shoshi's Minis paint her up. Although if anybody's watched Black Sails, you know that Mary Read didn't look anything like this. Pirates didn't tend to go around wearing that type of attire. Okay, so this one's going to be a little bit harder for me to show. So what is the best way to do this? Let us turn that off. Put that on. Okay, so board game, the Smog Riders. I will try and show you, well, I will show you the bits via the graphics here. I do have it, and I will be playing the game on one of the Tabletop Tuesdays in the month, so you'll be able to see how the game plays out. So this is, you know, again, sort of doubling down on the whole steampunk theming that Scale75 are well known for. They've created a whole host of characters to go into dimensions of madness. And first of all, we have our sort of villainous characters. They are, I guess, I hope I'm right in saying, in the chibi style. Someone's bound to correct me. So very, very comic cartoon styling with the large heads. Big eyes. So again, lots and lots of character to the sculpts. So these are the bad guys, or, well, hard to say bad guys because it's two opposing forces. And we got some tile art here because it is, I wouldn't say it's a skirmish game, but it is a game of teams that are basically trying to seize control of the environment that they're within. Each character's got its own special abilities. You are fighting against one another. So you've got beautiful artwork across the board on all of the character cards. These are the good guys, or the heroic characters. And that gives you an idea of how the board and the players would set up. So what I'm going to do, hang on 1 second. Okay, this seems manageable. Right then. So if we go to here, aha, there we go, that looks good. So these are, as I showed, these are the heroic characters. So let's see if we can grab a few. Oh, this guy looks good. Let us bring him up and focus in. He looks like a Rocket Raccoon character. But his name is Mapuche in the game. Mapuche. Yes, I'm going to go with Mapuche. Looks like, well, I don't know. Looks like a badger. You'll see in a bit. So he's quite cool. And again, lots of intricate detail to the character. So the great thing about it, of course, because this is a board game, it's made so that you could just play instantly. This is Colonel Clayton with his robotic eye. Well, actually, is it robotic? Is it steam powered? So again, really nice sculpting, lots of detail. And then we got some awesome sort of characters here. So this is one of the female characters with a rocket pack. You know, everybody keeps on saying to me, when am I going to paint the eyes on a character? Yeah, this might be the time I do it. Because hopefully I won't go wrong. So, you know, I love how each character's a little story. She's looking all sort of sweet and innocent, smiling behind her fan. And yet she's got some throwing knives in the back of her hand. So she's quite lethal. Oh, this guy looks cool. Oh, he's quite heavy as well. So he's your proper strong man. So those are the heroics. And then to counter those, we have the villainous characters. This guy's a big shark. And I think these are all got, the villains are all of a more aquatic theming to them. This one has a sort of an Egyptian feel, even though she's on a crab. This one is Skylar the Mermaid type character, or Siren. Now, as I'm sure we're all familiar with the different types of plastics, somebody did sort of say was the Fallen Frontiers resin, and I'm going to assume that they are. By the same token, I'm assuming that these are not. That these are what I guess we would call typical board game plastics. So I suppose the sort of comparison would be, again, your Imperial Assault miniature plastics. So not the hard plastic of a Games Workshop mini, a typical mini from Games Workshop, and not the resins from, say, your Ranging Heroes. So as I say, these are all prepared in the box, ready for you to be able to play straight away. But because Scale75 are producing miniatures for painters as much as for gamers, they do produce all of the characters in resin and as multi-part as well. So here's a couple of them. And here's Mapush. Let's go and take a look. So what we'll do is we can do a comparison here. Okay. So this is the multi-part resin compared to the board game plastic. And you can just... So yes, it does come with a guide. So just take a look here. So as you can see, it shows how the various core aspects of the character are to be painted. And then of course it gives you the rundown in the various colours that you want to use. But I think the point of these smaller packs is to replace all of the board game. Bottom right. You're referring to this? Yeah, okay, well, let's jump across then. And click on that. So here we go. So Smog Riders. So let's take one of the ones we know. There we go. My push. So he's, yes, high quality resin casting. So it's exactly the same character. Just you get it as obviously a resin version, which is multi-part. The detail is much, much sharper. In fact, if I jump over here, and we do a comparison here, you can see how much more detail, how much sharper the internal components are on the resin version as opposed to the plastic. So you don't have to. I mean, again, it depends on to what aspect you're doing. If you want to play the game, you do not require these individual boxes because you already have all the characters required. If you're a painter and you don't want to play the game, then you don't buy the game, you can buy the individual characters. It's totally up to you. So that's my push. And then we got Colonel Clayton. And he is on his sprue, all ready for you to take off. And then the figure that I will be painting, I will be starting this week, is Skylar. So I've already just done a quick once over as far as tidying her up. There's only a little bit of work needed, and I'm preparing to obviously, to put my pins in. She sits very nicely on her base. Let's just get the body out. So you'll just clip into place there, and then that just nicely clips in there. So in fact, I'll be able to do her as a multi-part, nice and easy. So I'm looking forward to painting her. That's going to be a nice little challenge. And so there you go, guys and gals. That is everything I've got to show you in regards to Scale75. So quite an awesome range. If you are not familiar, then I would highly recommend you do check them out. It'll be well worth it. There's so many great miniatures. Okay, so did promise that the fun wasn't going to stop there. So let me grab hold of my asset drop box. Hang on a second. Okay then, so here we go. Let's just sort the focusing out. So how many of you guys in the stream at the moment already subscribe to Asset Drop or are familiar with Asset Drop? Is anybody not familiar? With Asset Drop? Oh, Lorno's asking the important questions already. So you already know what's in here then, okay. And Snowyak, you've already got yours. Excellent. And hello, Andy from Asset Drop. So is there anybody on the channel now who does not receive Asset Drop already? They do indeed, don't they, Andy? Yes, they are really nice miniatures. So Nixton, you don't receive Asset Drop at this time. Okay, so I will have something potentially for you. And so Valkyrie, you're just waiting for yours to arrive in the USA. But you are aware of what's inside, so I'm not going to spoil anything. And Kindrick, you don't get the Discovery box, you get Monsters and Heroines. Okay. All right then, so let's take a look. So again, for those who are not aware, Asset Drop is a monthly subscription box for miniature painters. When the range started, it was purely the Discovery set, which is what I'm going to open now. But since that time, Asset Drop have created the Heroines box and the Monster box. And as the titles may hint towards, the Heroines box includes heroine-based miniatures. The Monster box includes an awesome monster, along with then paints or basing materials or items that aid your painting in a general term. So I have had previous boxes where I have received a couple of paints from a specific paint producer. All complement one another, because that's the important part, is that the box has been carefully crafted so that all the components work together. So for example, when I got my Heroines box, this had a miniature from RNE Studio, which was Nadia, one of the Myth Explorers. It had a resin base that was thematic to her character. It had a selection of paints to achieve gold colorings for the armor that she was wearing. It had basing materials to go along actually on the base. And what else did it have? I think it had gold and brass, wasn't it? Yep, I think that was what was in that box. Hopefully I got all that right. And so everything you could use it all together to really enhance the miniature that's been in the box. The Discovery box is more about learning about different paint brands. As we've just discovered, we've just talked about Scale Color from Scale75. We've talked about Army Painter. We're all very familiar with the Citadel paint range. It does seem ages ago, doesn't it? Yes, and you've done so many since now. Vallejo, of course. But there are so many other brands that we're not necessarily familiar with. And so what the Asset Drop box does is, for a monthly subscription of, and I hope I get this right, Andy, £19.90 for the Discovery box, you will get a selection of paints, a selection of materials that you will not know what you are getting, which is part of the surprise. And these will then obviously broaden your awareness of what's available on the market. Andy does spend a huge amount of time researching the various paints, and then puts together a very, very handy guide on how best to use those paints for a particular project. I just want, well, I'm gonna, yeah, 1990, excellent. So I'm going to open this up because I know that the guide will give me a little bit of core information that I want to relate. So let us. So Lorna, you buy for the guide, all right? Okay. So here we go. So it comes all nicely packaged. Good. That's it. Show Andy the love. Okay, so let's open this up. I hate ripping this, you know, it's because I know somebody's taking care and attention. Okay, there we go. So we got our bubble wrap, we've got our guide. Oh, Andy, this is brilliant. Yeah. Okay. And Andy knows me far too well. I think the timing on this was perfect. Okay, so first of all, sweets. I got my Haribo sweets. It's always important as to what sweets you get. These are always nice. So little cola sweets, awesome. So, and Andy will know this, and this is absolutely true. Before I started this channel, I was trying to get hold of secret weapon paints because I had watched Kenny on Next Level Painting rave about secret weapon, and I wanted to have some, and couldn't find them and couldn't get hold of them easily in the UK, and it was well over a year since I sort of wanted to get hold of them. So the very first box that I received from Andy, I opened it up, and what was inside was a set of secret weapon paints, which you guys have seen me use. It was Tire Black, which was my #1 paint that I was after. So this box was the absolute perfect box for me. And as I sort of said before, you get typically the 3 colours that are required that complement one another in a whole sequence to achieve a particular technique. So tire black with rubber and then rubber highlight. So that first box I got of asset drop was absolutely spot on for me. And asset drop have done it again. Because, yeah, it's another series of secret weapon. And what have we got here? Old oil, fresh oil. Ooh, and right, okay. Engine metal. So, all right, excellent. Oh gosh, look, you can see the grime already in the bottle. This looks like some sort of wash type texture paint. This looks like a nice, so see, yeah, acrylic silver. Okay, they're all acrylics, yeah. Oh, okay, right. So these look great. But of course, as you guys were just saying, let's take a look at the guide to see how we might use it. So here we go, sacred weapon on that. So painting engines. Okay. And what I wanted to point out, because I knew that the book would include this. So this box is over £28 worth of miniature paints for just $19.90, which is represents saving of 30%. Okay, so you know, if you were to go out on these, you've saved 30% already. So really great saving. But here we go. So this is Andy's guide now on how to paint engines. So mixing the base coat for doing old engine, okay. And then fresh oil tinted layer. All right. All right. So you can see how it's building up. You've got some of the darker area and the shinier silvers. And then, of course, he's starting to put in the old streaking oil effects. Oh, this looks really cool. And so, to some degree, let's just take a look here. Because I've been painting during the secret painting stream that I do during the day. I've been painting up the war dogs from Wild West Exodus. So this has all been with non-metallic metals, so it's basically just greys and black washes. I've just started to put the orange details in. But I'm thinking this is too good an opportunity to miss. Don't know whether I'll do it on this one or on the other one. Why don't I incorporate some of these silvers into this war dog? I think that would look rather cool. So here we go. So that's what we're going to do. So during the course of the daytime streams, when we're doing the war dogs, I think we're going to sort of use Andy's guide here to basically yes, Snowy, you absolutely, yes, I see what you were saying now. This is the only box I've got, Kindrick, so which box did you want to talk about? I'm going to keep on obviously looking through this and talking about it, but feel free to keep the chat going. And so the other set, oh well, this is very timely, isn't it? Oh, yeah, I mean, no problem. I've just been talking away, complimenting the awesome set of metallic secret weapon miniatures. So Kindrick, you basically got a bottle of baby poop. So yeah, we got 3 bottles here of Scale Colour again, in a perfect trio. So they're a good addition. So I'm definitely got plenty of Scale Colour. So what do we have here as well then? So this is Gloss Varnish from Watercolours. Okay, well, that's always helpful. And I've not used any Watercolour products before. And in here, what's this? Ooh, liquid pigment. Blue burned exhaust. Ah, right. No problem, Andy. We'll still be here, don't worry. All right, so let's take a look at the guide on this. I'm going to move the box out of the way because that's everything. So looking at the guide, so we got up to this point. Ah, here we go. And so we got the blue effect and then black paint for the carbon scoring. Right, so that really makes the engine. Wow, that's so realistic. Yes, I'll be cleaning straw and bits of packaging out of all my paints and on the desk for days to come. I'm sure I will. So, right, so you really have got, within those 4 free paints and the liquid paint there, the perfect set for doing metalworks, anything which has any sort of plasma. Well, actually, would it plug the plasma? Yeah, I suppose a plasma cannon would do, or a flame unit. So you open yours at work. You can't wait until you even get home. Okay, and so here we go. Right, okay, so this is an interesting thing here, that you've got to pop open the top of Scale75 paints. You see, if I didn't receive this, I wouldn't have known that, and I would have made the mistake. And so this is using Scale75, the blues, for painting an ice. Is it ice golem? Ice elemental? So again, really nice tutorial. And of course, this is where it's intending to use the gloss varnish. Okay, so no, that's a really awesome set there, and it's perfect for me for here and now. So so a discount code. So and I think it's going to be, from what we've sort of described, it was Nixton Minis who is not a subscriber, but we can see quite a few other people have joined in on the chat who we don't know whether they are subscribers or not. So Asset Drop obviously have an online store. If you want to get a link, it is !asset drop. Type that in, you'll get the link straight away. You can purchase their previous boxes, but this particular code is for the June box that I have just unpacked. So if you do exclamation discount, you will receive a 20% off discount code for the June Discovery Box. So this is a way for you to purchase the box, check it out, see how you like it just as much as I do, without the subscription. And then of course you're able to subscribe afterwards should you wish and start receiving the boxes each month. So if you're not already a subscriber, this is a way of trialing the box to learn what everybody else is all getting fussed up about. So there we go, there is the code, MWF20. And I assume, Andy, you just input that in on the cart screen? Yeah, okay, excellent. So people will easily be able to find it then. So then, whilst we've got you, oh, here we go. See, it's great to have the boss on the stream. We're getting some extra freebies thrown in. Hello, Slitter. We've just done the showcase of the Scale75 miniatures, busts, paints, and games. I see. Hey, I will have the accent down tomorrow evening when we do our live gaming. And so we've just done Scale 75, and we've literally just unpacked the June Discovery Box from Asset Drop. Are you a subscriber to Asset Drop, Slither? There you go, Snowy Axe just punched up the discount code. So basically, if you're not a subscriber, well, here's the perfect opportunity. So let me show you all the neat things that you would get in the box. You get a very, very good guide that takes you through step by step how to achieve various results. That obviously the paints that are within the box help you achieve. So that's very, very cool. So with that in mind, in this particular box, it's Secret Weapons Engine Metal with Old Oil and Fresh Oil, along with then Liquid Pigments Blue Burned Exhaust. So you're going to do the perfect metal work now. And then, because we were doing Scale 75 obviously all evening, we've got a trio of Scale 75 or Scale Colors: Caribbean Blue, Sky Blue. Oh, sorry, it's not. No, yes, Caribbean Blue, Sky Blue, and Cantabric blue? Cantabric? Cantabric. Yeah, Cantabric blue. Okay. So, and then, of course, if that wasn't enough, you get some sweets as well. Oh, that's a good question. You're asking if it does the sort of oxidization effect. I think that's what you're referring to, isn't it? Boom, indeed. What more could you want once you got the sweets? It's worth experimenting, isn't it? So Slither, what this works out as, it's £19.90. You're going to receive 20% off with that discount code, and the box value before even that 20% is already a 30% saving from what would be the retail price of all these items. So it's a huge amount of discount, which is really, really great. And of course, it just allows you to find out about different paint ranges. Well, I was saying in my social media that I would be eating the paints and mixing the sweets, so... Well, Andy, I think... Am I right in saying this? Hang on one second. Because I believe that... Is this something that came through to everybody in their pack? Yep, okay, so here we go. So basically, Asset Dropper started a competition page. So once you're a monthly subscriber, and of course the main thing about this is sharing your photos. So obviously, Snowyak, if you do your paint with your technique, then obviously you should get involved with this. You'll have all the details. Oh, that's an interesting... So, Slither, you would like a bust box? Well, so far there is a discovery box, there is a heroine's box, there is a monster box. And so a potential bust box is on the list. Not something that I like to shout about too often, but we were looking at some busts earlier. So, this is the Scale75 bust of Arena Maya. I'll just bring her out. I think that's reasonable focusing, isn't it? Yeah, no, she does look awesome. So the monster box, is that every 2 months then, Andy? I'm just doing this for the benefit of anybody who's joined the stream recently. So the paints from Scale Color that I'll be using during the course of this month. We got the flesh paint set. We got the non-metallic metal paint set. So you get 8 paints in these, and then what also you get, which is really nice, is handy guides on how to achieve the colour results. And then steel and azure steel. And then we were taking a look at the Smog Riders. So this is the mini that I'll be painting. So one of their chibi miniatures. So Skylar. There she is. So this is going to be good fun. Yeah, she's going to be good fun. I'm looking forward to it. And again, nice little guide. I think I've got... Have I got something I can... There she is. See, she's all set and ready. Yes! Who would have guessed? Who would have guessed that I might have received the perfect colours? In fact, you raise a really good question, so let's... So just taking a look at this... Okay, so they're saying they used Adriatic blue, deep blue, and with some yellow and white. So, so the colours that the blues that they've used are different blues to what I've received in the drop, but these are the blues I'm going to use. And again, it gives you a nice little guide just to show you how to do it, but there's no reason I can't use these blues. So that's cool. And then we were taking a look at miniatures from Scale75's sort of, I suppose, skirmish game. This is a guy called Sphinx from the Harvester faction. He is a zombie inspired warrior. Lots of beautiful detail to his character. So lots and lots of detail. Looks like one of the guys from Doom. Or it's certainly Doom inspired. So he's a nice character. And then right at the top of the stream, we were looking at military minis for their Warfront. So we got scale miniatures of US Army troops, a Sherman tank. So you had the 1:72 scale. Yeah, they're teeny tiny. Did you see the tank, Andy? So you missed the whole soldiers as a. All right, here we go. No harm in unboxing it again. A nice sort of plinth. Okay, so we have the sort of tank chassis. And then what's nice is there's a whole load of transfers in here as well. So we've got the turret. And then, of course, there you go, try and put the tracks in there. Yeah, definitely, yeah. Oh, it's really nice, and of course you could paint this up and think of all the weathering supplies you could use, the mud effects on here. You know, it'd look really, really nice, wouldn't it? So again, something that I've never done is doing vehicles. So I would definitely be interested in having a go. Wilder, as in for the for weathering pigments and things like that. Yes. Hello, Rhyme. So you got no school for an entire week. Rejoice. Mig, yes, yes, they're renowned for it, aren't they? And then we also took a look at another character from Fallen Frontiers. Diana Tyson? Which one? This one? Or the zombie one? So, oh, it's the she, is it? Hang on a second. Let's just bring that up there. In fact, what is better? So, just give me 1 second, gentlemen. Because we do have the power here. Okay, so if we go to this and turn that off there and turn that on there. There you go. I get what you mean now. I have the power! And just to give the zombie some love. Because I do think he looks awesome. Well, unfortunately, they don't. Yeah, they don't do the range of busts that they do at the moment doesn't include that character. Yes, Rhyme. Yes, it's from Fallen Frontiers. So these are two of the hero characters. So these are renders of Scale75's Naughty Gears busts, which were on Kickstarter originally. These are busts of some of their core characters from their Steam Wars range, to which you can get in 35mm and 75mm. I like this one. This is Jessica Thunderhawk. I think I just like her because of the fact of having the bird of prey. I think that would be quite unique to do. And this final one here has a very sort of vampiric aspect to the character. Well, let's just see. So give me a second, and we turn that off and put that on. So this is the range of busts that they do. So I showed you the Irina Meyer and Sarah Kilminster, Carla McCarthy, Nancy Steel Punch. Look at the size of that hand. Joe Cassidy, Mary Reed. Snowyak was liking the Mary Reed. So if we do quite a few, it's just a case of them, you know, as and when they come into the range. Their latest one was... Here we go, was Captain Ahab. Again, you could spend forever, you know, working on these, because of course it really requires you to refine your work in specific areas. I love the sort of texturing of his overcoat there in the different sort of grades of colours. So it seems to be a lot more people are interested in busts, and certainly from the quick sort of survey that we've done, everybody in the chat seems very keen towards having a bust subscription or drop box from Asset Drop, which is great feedback. Yeah, I think we talked a while ago, and I was thinking that people, you know, more potentially 54mm, but yes, it would seem that busts seem to be even more popular. I think there also comes a time, doesn't it, as we get older, that we need to have our minis larger. That was it. Heroes and Legends. Here we go. So here's the Mary Reed character, but as a full scale, well, you know, 75mm. I really do like their range of 75s. Staying with the Black Sails pirating theme, there's Anne Bonny. I know what you mean, Kindrick, yes. Heroic scale is better because anything smaller than that, oh wow. And then if you watch the Vikings TV series, Ragnar Lothbrok. Ragnar Lodbrok. Yeah. You got hair like that, Snoyak? Do they have Lagertha? Do they indeed? Let's see. No, they have Rolo. There is a studio that does do Lagertha because I've seen her being painted up on another channel as a bust, not as a figure. Right, yeah. And what else do we have? Oh, here's one for Slither. So, you know, beyond the fantasy, they do produce an awesome range of. Oh, let's have a look at Holmes. Got to have a look at Holmes. Wow, that's great. Well, that's the thing. You see, I would have said that the Fallen Frontiers zombie was down Rob's particular avenue of expertise. I thought that might have been his thing, because I suppose they don't do a huge amount of massively demonic. I'm trying to be diplomatic. So what, Lorna, you're talking about what kind of sadist paints a mirror in their minis? Let's take a look. Yes. Oh my goodness. Yeah, you can see it there, can't you? Hang on a second. I bet it's just reflective material, because if that's painted... Could you imagine if that is a 3D sort of etched out inwards so that you can paint that? It's not an emboss. What would it be? It'd be a chiseled effect, wouldn't it? That would be scary, but amazing at the same time. Yeah, exactly. Yes, yes. It'd be intriguing to know, considering, but I'm assuming it's, you know, shy of €100 for the entire scene. So thank you very much, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this evening's showcase of Scale75 and the unboxing of June's Discovery Box from Asset Drop. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow.